So my idea of getting ready for Halloween is to look around my house for free stuff to give away. I make a little tray of odds and ends I found in parking lots, and one year I moved 15 pairs of cheap sunglasses I bought in gas stations when I'd been driving across the country. And so the scary part that happens at my house is for the people who come to my door. Because there is no candy there. There's just really old, great stuff. And I wanted to just pass on to you because this may be your case at your house too, but I have a lot of T-shirts at my house, and I have a lot of storytelling T-shirts at my house. And one year I forgot to put the tray together, and I had just opened up an old dusty suitcase that had all the T-shirts in that I used to wear for movement class in graduate school. And they were all cut off here so I could see my body in the mirror with my dance teacher, 9 o'clock to 10:30. For 18 months, we had dance class in an airport hangar in Sarasota, Florida, with a lot of mirrors. So I had T-shirts and lots of tights and things. But anyway, I found all those shirts, and I washed them, and I hung them upside down on the clothesline. And when the trick-or-treaters arrived, I sang them this song. Have you seen the ghost of John? Long white bones with no T-shirt on. Ooh, ooh, wouldn't it be chilly with no T-shirt on? And then I invited them to go and choose one off the clothesline. So I moved a lot of shirts that year. So I just want to invite you for next year, you could just start keeping your eyes open around the house for things you don't need anymore, and then prepare your tray. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and never, never, ever remind of the places we've been, the people we met, the things we said, the things they meant? Should old acquaintance be forgot and never, ever brought to mind? And I say no, 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 I want to remember. I say no, 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 no. So it was New Year's Eve, Sarasota, Florida, 1989. And I had moved away by then, but I'd come home to visit my storage unit. And I had lots of really good friends there. I'd been in graduate school there, and I had friends in the community, and I was staying at my friend Susie's house, and my sweetheart was there, my old sweetheart, and they were playing bridge. I don't play bridge, and I didn't want to cross it now that I'd come to it. So I was trying to think of something to do while they played bridge. And I remembered that my friend Marlis Fix, the mother of Jim Fix, who wrote the complete book of running, that Marlis Fix lived within walking distance of Susie's house. And I thought I could go and visit Marlis. And I thought I could dress up in one of my costumes that I sewed myself. And I could take my guitar and I could sing outside her window just before midnight. And she'll think it's a ghost or a friend. And she'll let me in. And I can say hi. So all that sounded really good to myself, just me, myself, and I. And I changed my clothes. I didn't wear any shoes because it was Florida. It was warm and balmy. And I did take a guitar, but I have my auto harp with me now. And I made my way down the block to the main drag, the Tamiami Trail. And then I walked several blocks down. And as I approached Marlis's street, I became aware that there was a young man sitting on the sidewalk with his back up against one of the power boxes that powers traffic lights. And he had very shiny white running shoes on. They almost looked like they had lights, but they didn't. They were that clean and new. And so, wanting to make friends, I walked right up to him and I said, "Hey, Happy New Year. What are you doing?" And he was on the ground sitting, and he looked up at me and he said, "You see that house down there?" He was pointing down a block and a half. He said, "You see the one there with the light on the porch and the lights in the window, and there's a trash can out front?" And I looked at him and I said, "I can see all of that." He said, "There's a man in there who jumped bail in Houston, Texas." And he said, "I'm waiting here because my brother is going to go in there near midnight, and if the guy runs, I'm going to have a foot chase." I said, "Are those new shoes you have on?" He said, "Yeah, these are my new running shoes. I just got them for Christmas." He said, "I can't wait to have a foot chase." Now, right next to him, he had a small Pan American traveling bag, a very small one, the kind that I used to have when I was a kid. It was really large enough like for a shaving kit or something. And I said, "What have you got in that Pan Am bag?" And he said, "Well, I used to carry a gun in it, but I had a grenade and a gun in it once, and I pulled the grenade out by mistake and did a whole lot of damage." I said, "I used to carry my Barbie doll in there. It was just big enough for the wedding dress and the plastic flowers that I used to let Ken carry every time I married them, because I married them every time before I went to school. Every day I made a little church out of my brother's wooden blocks, and she wore her veil, and Ken, I never had any clothes." Now, he had no interest in this whatsoever. But, I never had any clothes for my Ken doll because he came in a red bathing suit and I thought he looked just fine. So I never bought anything for him. But I used to let him carry the flowers for the wedding. I said, "I know who Jim Fix is. Do you know who Jim Fix is? He wrote the complete book of running." He said, "I think I remember that book. Wasn't it a red book with a leg?" I said, "Yeah, that's his leg on the cover. Did you know that?" He didn't want to know that. I said, "Tell me about how you got to be a bounty hunter." He said, "My dad was a bounty hunter. May he rest in peace. He died on a hunt several years ago, and now my brother's in the business too. But my father, he trained me how to be in the bounty hunt." And I said, "Oh." I said, "Where's your brother?" He said, "He's in a convertible Volkswagen down at the other end of the block." And then he leaned and he said, "You can't see that from here, but he's down there and he's going to go in around midnight. And I'm going to have a foot chase." I said, "I'm on my way to visit Jim Fix's mother. She lives just down the street, just in case you want to come." He said, "I'm on a stakeout." I said, "Well, if it's over by the time I go, you could come." He said, "I have to stay right here." He said, "Why are you dressed up so funny?" I said, I made this myself. I love Godspell, and I wanted to have a costume just like the lady who sang Day by Day. I sang that when I was in college because I got to be in the play, but I made this for myself because it's just like the lady who wore it off Broadway. He said, "Just a minute. Hello? What? No. Yeah, I'm ready. You think you might go in? Okay." And he sort of hung up. Now, this is 1989. we don't have phones yet, cell phones. I said, who was that? He said, I got hit in the ear by baseball when I was a kid, and my dad, we figured out after I got my ear fixed that I could pick up radio waves. He says, that was my brother. He says, after my dad died and my brother came into the business, we had the same thing done to his ear, and he and I, we can talk to each other. I said, I said, listen. I said, let's sing something. He said, I am on a stakeout. I said, well, it's not midnight yet. Don't you have a little bit of time? He goes, I said, let's sing Twinkle, Little Star. I said, do you know there's 4 verses to it? He said, oh. I said, and you can sing the first one with me because I think you know that one and I won't tell anybody you did. I promise. Here we go. Want to come in? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Well, when the blazing sun is gone, when she nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. Could he but see which way to go, if you did not twinkle so. In the dark blue sky you peep, and often through my curtains peep, though I know not what you are. All of a sudden he said, excuse me, what? No! You didn't. No, I didn't see. Well, there's this lady here. You got him? And he got him. No problems? Oh. Where was he going? He was going to go and get another beer. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Hey, you and I, we just made ourselves a whole bunch of money. Okay. Yeah, I'll see you back. No, I don't have to go back now because you got him. Okay. All right. I'll see you there later. He hung up. I said, what was that? He said, my brother just got him. He was coming out of the house, and my brother came up the street, and he just walked up to him, and he cuffed him, and he's got him in custody, and we just made a bunch of money. I said, so you don't have to go anywhere? He said, no. I said, well, I'm going to go. You want to walk with me down to Marlis's house? He said, oh, okay, but I'm not singing anything else. I said, it's okay, but you sounded pretty good on that first part. He stood up, and we walked down. He didn't wait while I sang for Marlis. He left. There was this long shadow in front of his body as he walked back down the street because of the street lights, and he disappeared. But I played for Marlis, and she let me in, and we had a really nice visit. And then I went back to my friend's house, and I told my friends about how I met a bounty hunter, and he could talk to his brother just by pushing his ear like that. And they said, Angela, he's pulling your leg. And I said, why would he pull my leg? He's from Texas. They didn't believe me. The next morning, we all went to a Waffle House to have breakfast, and they were looking in the newspaper for an arrest of a fellow who had jumped bail in Houston, Texas. There was no story in the paper, so they were laughing all over again at me. I just want to tell you one thing, though. We were on our way back to Susie's house, driving on the Tamiami Trail, when we passed a convertible Volkswagen. The top was down. There was a man pulled over, they had stopped, and he was sitting in his car, and he had his hand like this to his ear, and he was talking. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.